Welcome back. You're watching Credlin. As we go to air, more than 13 million residents of Greater Sydney, 13 million residents right across Australia, including Greater Sydney, Victoria and South Australia, remain locked in their homes, and now a national emergency has been called by New South Wales. Is our fractured federation up to the task? To discuss this and a whole lot more, I'm joined by Friday panel social commentator Prue McSween and the host of Outsiders, Rowan Dean. G'day there, team.
Hi, Smithy. Hi, Rowan.
Good to have you here. An international comparison shows that Australia, Rowan, has become a fortress and we've lost more freedoms than most comparable nations. This is aggravating to know this, and you just wonder whether someone, no longer New South Wales, whether someone will understand how valuable those freedoms are to us.
Well, Chris, we're not only a fortress, we're a laughing stock. The rest of the world is looking at us and shaking their heads in disbelief. You see, for example, states of America like Florida that have never gone into this sort of crazy lockdown process. They're living their lives quite normally. They're coping with the virus. They're protecting the vulnerable, which is the correct thing to do. You look at nations like Sweden, which kind of sits in the middle of the European pack in terms of what they never lock down, and yet their death rates and their contagion rates and so on kind of sit in the middle of the pack. So why we are locking down, why we've gone into destroying the lives of millions of small businesses, families, kids who can't go to school is a complete mystery. What we should be doing is what we set out to do originally. The very, very first decision made whenever it was 15, 16 months ago was to kind of flatten the curve, make sure that our medical resources weren't overwhelmed, and then when a vaccine comes along, allow the vaccine to be there for those who want it and for those who are vulnerable to take it. That was the right strategy. So why we're now charging around like headless chooks is completely beyond me. The anger out there amongst tradies, amongst small business people whose lives are being decimated for no reason that can be shown from anywhere around the world, Chris.
Prue, you're a little bit more centre on this, and you think that we need to protect those in the community who haven't been vaccinated. I just get the feeling that there have been numerous opportunities to go and get AstraZeneca, the vaccine, where we've got a death rate ratio of 1 in 2 million and people haven't taken it up. Is it time that they protected themselves?
100%, Smithy. I'm not really that centred about it. I'm at the stage now where I'm like, as Ron, I'm furious. I've had enough. I think the average Joe, the average Sheila has had enough. And frankly, if you don't want to get vaccinated, if you're that dumb, if you don't want to do the AstraZeneca, then take your chances. Don't penalise me, because as far as I'm concerned, I want Australia to open up again.
Yeah.
Business needs to function. We need to save our country as well as saving lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're all gamblers in this country. Let's not gamble anymore with our future. Let's get the damn jab in the arm and get on with life.
Rowan, a bit of politics in Victoria. It looks as if Michael O'Brien's days as leader of the Liberal Party are over. It's getting noisier and noisier. What is it about his departure, if it happens? Does it say more about him or more about Daniel Andrews, do you think?
I think it says more about the Liberals in general. The Michael O'Brien is kind of the classic wet Liberal, bedwetting type Liberal who doesn't appear to really stand for anything. Unfortunately, there's too many of those in the Liberal Party, and that's why the Liberal Democrats have attracted the likes of John Ruddock and others. Who were formerly Liberals. The problem is if you don't stand for anything, you eventually get found out. And so Michael O'Brien has kind of flip-flopped on should the borders be open, should they not be open, and kind of responds knee-jerk like to whatever the latest opinion poll or whatever his media advisors or whoever it is, I guess, because I wouldn't have a clue what the bloke stands for. And if you don't know who your political what your political leaders stand for, why would you ever vote for them?
Yeah, exactly. Only 30 seconds left, Prue, but the ABC has more staff than they thought they had, and they're telling us that they're struggling because of the wage freeze or the resources freeze. They're kidding,
They've
aren't
been
they?
conning us.
Yeah.
Smithy, they've been conning us, deceiving us for so long, crying poor mouth. You know, they need somebody to pass the toilet paper to them and scrunch it, you know, clearly, because they're just so stupid.
I love
you know,
it.
they've been, you know, it's just absurd. And, you know, it's time that we all, you know, got rid of them, I think, and
Good on you,
amalgamated them with the SBS.
Prue McSween, Rowan Dean, thank you very much. We'll be watching Outsiders on Sunday, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
All
See
right.
ya. See ya.